Well, hi everybody. I'm John Riddled, and this is my review of WWE NXT for January 29th, 2020. We have some build towards TakeOver Portland, the finals of the Dusty Classic, 2 women's matches. How good of an episode was this? Let's find out. We start off with commentary team Mauro Ranallo, Nigel McGuinness, and Beth Phoenix. Beth instantly talking about how it was an emotional weekend for her and her family, and mentions the attack that Randy Orton did on her husband Edge on Raw, and this is pretty good stuff. Beth was very emotional here, really sold it well. Obviously, we know that Edge is okay, and they're going to build towards Edge and Orton, hopefully at WrestleMania and not sooner, like not on February 27th, please God, no. But with this, it was a nice way to start off the show. And then we have Finn Balor versus Trent Seven. And earlier in the day, Trent Seven was having an interview, and he was standing, with his, kind of on his car door and stuff like that. That was his first mistake. Finn attacks him, kind of hurts his larynx, but we get this match. So instantly, Finn just attacks Trent right in his entrance and just starts beating the shit out of him. I mean, really beating him up. Trent gets in a few shots, but Finn is just going after the neck, just beating him up and everything, targeting the bruised larynx. And Trent's really selling it well. Does eventually get some good moves in, but there was no doubt that we were going to get Finn getting the win. Finn for the win. And he hits the Bloody Sunday, or the 1916, as some may call it. 1, 2, 3. He wins. And obviously, we're going to get, a really one hell of a match that it's going to be happening at TakeOver Portland. Him versus Gargano. Can't wait for that. That's going to be absolutely tremendous. That's going to be a goddamn good match. I mean, I've really been looking forward to that one. This wasn't bad. I felt bad for Trent kind of being the sacrificial lamb, but it was a way to get Finn over, and that made sense. We then have Kathy Kelly interviewing Riddle and Dunne. And, of course, you get, Pete just being stoic and Riddle saying, after we win, Pete's going to be the life of the party. And, Riddle just being the happy-go-lucky golden retriever that he is, clearly not caring what happened with the Royal Rumble and all that stuff, or we're being worked on the whole thing with him and Lesnar, and we're going to be seeing that match, maybe not at WrestleMania, though that would be kind of cool. No, we're probably going to get it at SummerSlam. Hey, actually, that might sell SummerSlam pretty damn well. So, anyway, we get numbers in the sky. We get a 5, we get a 20, and we get a 2, and we get an answer a little bit later, or at least we seem to. I think it's pretty obvious what the deal is. And then we get Shotzi Blackheart on a tank, and a little tank, tanking the audience very much for investing in her. That was a terrible pun. I'm sorry. But she makes her entrance in the tank, and then Deonna Purrazzo just looking like, what the hell is this? This is like, a little kid's ride. I don't want anything to do with this. This is a nice match. I enjoy the way these two work together. You had Shotzi being all fiery and everything with some good agility. Deonna focusing on the arm, since she goes for the Fujiwara armbar. This was a good match. Wasn't given a ton of time, but was given enough time so they were able to tell a good story. Wouldn't mind down the road seeing a best of 5 series between these two. Best of 5, best of 7, something like that, as a way to build up a potential challenger for the women's champion, or the NXT champion now, since they've removed the women's portion from that title. I'll get into that in another video later. It's just going to get very confusing. So, but anyway, they're, face either Rhea Ripley, whoever the champion is, say at, maybe the June takeover if they decide to do one of those, or they wait all the way till August. Who knows? Back to this match. Nice stuff. Shotzi does come back after some arm focus from Deonna. We get a code breaker, and then the Shotzi Senton. I assume that's what they're calling it. I don't actually know. 1, 2, 3. And she wins. We then get Keith Lee with a speech. He is the new North American heavyweight champion. Very fired up promo. Really nice to see Keith Lee being given a chance to actually show some great personality and not just so much scripted stuff. Even though this clearly was scripted, he delivered it well. And then we get Damian Priest. And they call him the Archer of Infamy. I'm now going to call him the Archer of Infant Amy. I don't know why. Maybe it's just for fun. I like Damian Priest. He's a lot more interesting than Punishment Martinez was. And he's talking about, hey, he's holding the mic like this. Like, he's holding it like this, so he's speaking into it, but it's like, I don't know why. I'm not going to tell him to stop it. But it was weird, but he was doing that, and then Dominik Dijakovic comes down, and it's like, him and Keith Lee have histories, so Damien's just kind of like, well, why am I being forgotten about and stuff like that? And Dominik says, if anybody's going to challenge you, it's going to be me, and not bootleg Marilyn Manson here. And that was pretty funny. Hashtag bootleg Marilyn Manson. That was pretty good stuff. And we get this match because they're suddenly having to pull apart. Keith Lee doing the smartest thing and be like, nope, I'm going to get out of the ring right here. And I just get out of the ring. We get a tall boy fight. And no, I'm not talking about beers. We get two big, talented, athletic men. They really shouldn't be able to move the way they move, but they sold their moves well. This was definitely very much like a spam finisher match that you would get, like, in a video game, especially like, SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth, SmackDown, Know Your Role. It was pretty good. We get a choke bomb for 2. At one point near the beginning, we get a crucifix bomb on the apron. Of course, the hardest part of the ring. I do not know how Dominik Dijakovic did this, except he's a freak of nature. He did an Asai moonsault to the outside. We do get an Avalanche Poison Rana. Why? Why are we doing this? Even though these guys can do this safely, just seriously, I hate seeing stuff in New Japan. I just hate seeing, the Poison Ranas, especially being broken out as much as they are. I mean, almost seeing one a week. Do it sparingly if you have to, but I don't know. That was just a little much. But then soon after, Feast Your Eyes, even though it was countered earlier, he finally hits it. Dominik does. 1, 2, 3. He wins. And Damian Priest, where does he go from here? We're probably going to get a much less calm and much more focused Damian Priest. And we're probably going to get him being, inserted into this. Maybe we get a 3-way at the pay-per-view or at the takeover. Since it's in about 2 weeks, though, I don't know if Priest is going to get a shot yet. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with North American Championship. And then we get Tommaso Ciampa interview, and he's talking about, who's going to face Adam Cole? Well, it's going to be him. And no, insert, Ziggler line. It should have been me. No, don't put Ziggler in NXT, even though at one point I was championing that. We get back from the break, and Ciampa has laid out every member of the Undisputed Era except Adam Cole, baby. And Ciampa's got his shirt ripped and everything. And then he gets inside Full Sail, gets a table with an X, paint on it. And yellow X, obviously. And he gets to the ring and just starts cutting a promo. Well, Cole's there, and, Ciampa's like, Cole's like, who the hell do you think you are doing this? I'm not going to try to recount the whole thing, but Ciampa's like, I'm Goldie's daddy. I'm going to take back my championship. I never lost it. Regal has a contract. He's like, well, Adam Cole was in my office doing things the right way, and Cole says, don't worry, I got it from here. He did not have it from here because Ciampa said a little bit ago, you're going to get in this ring, I'm going to powerbomb you through this table. Well, guess what happened? Clearly Regal powerbombed him through a table. No, that isn't what happened. That would have been kind of funny, but Cole's like, well, you know what you're going to do, and he hits Ciampa in the face with the mic, and you think this is going to happen? No. He powerbombs Cole through the table. So the prophecy has come true. The prophecy of all of 5 minutes before. So this was fun. This was good stuff and a good way to build it. And then he signs a contract in his own blood. The Fiend is influencing NXT. It's Fiend XT. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. And they announced that Jordan Devlin, the new NXT Cruiserweight Champion, will be there next week. We get Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai. And Beth's exact quote, and Tegan is all fists. I'm just going to let that sit right there for a second. Does go outside. They get some brutal shots, like hitting into like some staging and everything. Dakota took a really hard post spot. They teased a chair being used. They teased the knee brace being used. And Candice stopped the chair, Dakota from using the chair. And then soon after, knee brace. The knee brace spot was a little weird. It looked like Tegan was going to waffle her and then wait a second and then hit her. That wasn't necessarily great, but you know what? Botches happen. Mistakes happen. Willing to forgive it here. And the Shiniest Wizard, 1, 2, 3. So we're possibly going to get Tegan and Candice as a tag team. Cool. I'm fine with it. I don't know who you team up with Dakota, but this feud obviously isn't over. They could culminate this, at either this takeover or maybe even a future takeover, or have them on TV in like a street fight or a Falls Count Anywhere match and just do something like that. That'd be pretty cool. But we then get the whole numbers again. We get the 5, the 2, and the 20, and it goes 2, 5, 20. Dream over. That's what it is, because it's 3, because of how they were arranged. 1, 1, 1. It's Velveteen Dream. If it's not Velveteen Dream, I don't know who the hell it is. That's pretty interesting. But then we get to, so great to see him back. I know he's been out for a bit, so hopefully they feature him in a pretty good match, if not at TakeOver soon after, and he gets a big moment at TakeOver just before Mania. TakeOver Tampa, I believe. Chelsea Green with Robert Stone versus Caden Carter. This is where I had some issues. So Chelsea Green has this new heel character and everything. Robert Stone, they finally bring him on TV. The former Robbie E from Impact, who has been a manager for a while on. He was a manager at the NXT house show that myself and Durbinator went to, late last year. And that was fun. Do not misunderstand. That was a lot of fun. It was great to see him there. Chelsea Green with some good heel work and everything. Really, really good stuff. She did get cocky. Caden did come back with some nice kicks and some flurries of offense, but Chelsea Green kept putting her down, and eventually was like, okay, I got her beat, and then suddenly inside cradle 1, 2, 3. So Caden Carter gets the victory. It's not like they built this up where Chelsea Green had beaten her a few times, and then she got overconfident, like, oh, I've beaten her so many times, I could do this. This is literally the first TV match she had as this new character after doing, a backstage or backstage vignette or like outside Full Sail where she got in the car. I don't understand why they did this. And nothing against Caden Carter, who I think can be a good hand and possibly even be built up pretty damn well. She has some ability and there is something there. I didn't agree with her going so far in the Mae Young Classic she was in when she was Lacey Lane. That was a bit weird, but hey, you know what? They got to have some Cinderella stories. They could do something with Caden Carter, but they put this time seemingly in Chelsea Green, and now all of a sudden she lost. Yes, it's one thing to be cocky and all of a sudden, but they could have built this up for a bit and then had Chelsea lose. And wait, all of a sudden, oh, wait, maybe this brand isn't working out. Now, maybe they're just going to do it where eventually, after 6 months, maybe 8 months, they have her turn to the hot mess gimmick that she was. But it's just a bit odd that they put this investment in and then suddenly just snapped it like that. And to give it to Caden Carter, who is still a project and still has a number of months away before we're going to be able to take her totally seriously. Great she got a first win, but it was a bit odd. We then get the Broserweights, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne versus the Grizzled Young Veterans, James Drake and Zach Gibson. Dusty Classic Finals, big fight feel. Not going to try to cover everything in on this match, but this was a pretty damn solid tag team match. Best match on the show, clearly, given a lot of time. I'm going to get into my issue here just at the end, but, Drake and Gibson with some great heel work, some cool double teams. They either popped the crowd when it was Broserweights or angered the crowd when it was Grizzled Young Veterans. A lot of kickouts, all the kickouts at one point. The Shankly Gates to Dunne. Gibson couldn't get him to tap out. The Riddle end. I couldn't help but roll my eyes, but also laugh at that. And dueling variations of Bro Derek, but nope, not quite. Couldn't get that. And then the pop-up into, an enziguri kick, 1, 2, 3, and the Broserweights get the victory. So this is... Okay. Look, I love me some good tag team action. I don't mind makeshift teams, but I railed against AEW doing it, even though I understood, when they did with Page and Omega. And I railed against them making, Rollins and Buddy Murphy tag team champions so soon after they got formed. Riddle and Dunne are a good team. But you had Finn and Joe win the Dusty Classic, the original Dusty Classic, and then they started feuding soon after that. So that just nullified the whole damn thing. Then you had AOP win, which, they're a legit team. Then you had, Undisputed Era win after Roderick Strong had turned on Dunne and joined the Undisputed Era. And then you had Aleister Black and Ricochet win last year. Again, you could get single stars to work out and everything, and it could do some good, but it really torpedoes what's left of the tag team division. I mean, granted, Grizzled Young Veterans are part of NXT UK, and obviously Riddle and Dunne were going to win, but the makeshift tag team thing is a bit of an epidemic in wrestling in general, and I think it's something where you need to give stuff a little bit more time. That being said, crowd did love it. And it was what it was. But that's my opinion on that. So I'm going to say B- because while I enjoyed the Dusty Classic Finals and I enjoyed a couple of things they did, this episode wasn't quite a B. It was one of the lesser episodes, still had some good moments, and I want you to let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.